Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches! RuPaul's Drag Race Season 2, Episode 1. We've mentioned before, but we'll mention it again. Right. We have a wine sponsor, which is very exciting for us because we drink a lot of wine. And if you also drink a lot of wine, then check them out. TryWink.com/MovieBitches. Then you get $20 off your first month.
So try it out.
Yeah.
If you want.
$20 on us.
Fun times.
Fun times. Drinking wine. So this season is bonkers already. And it's just the first episode. A lot of these, introductory walk-in looks are pretty, blah.
Yeah, Nicole Paige Brooks is the first girl to walk in, and she's just wearing, a black spaghetti strap dress.
From Forever 21? I mean, I don't know. It's just, the Gap. It
was just
Okay. Every time I hear her name, I think of the American Apparel Ed girls.
Nicole Paige Brooks.
Don't love her.
She seems very nice.
Sometimes yes and sometimes no.
She doesn't seem like an evil person.
No.
I mean, who does? But, I don't know, she's just sort of there.
Yeah.
For me. She's very oh yeah.
Well, she gets a little chatty later. We'll talk about that. But, so her photo, God, I can hardly even remember. That was her photo. It was whatever.
Oh boy. So then, oh gosh. So then Shangela walks in and we had a long discussion about if she was just wearing fur sleeves.
She was.
Or if it was a shawl she had wrapped around. It was just fur sleeves.
But fur sleeves that came to here and then stopped, but then connected to each other around the back.
It was a piece of a bear outfit.
It was so bizarre.
Cut up like a Halloween costume.
I don't know.
Of bear arms.
It was weird. I will say this, her outfit was at least more interesting than Nicole Paige Brooks.
There were some accessories.
Disclaimer. Avaryl, you really dislike Shangela a lot more than I do.
Well, here's the thing. I don't dislike her in this season because she goes home.
Sure.
When she should.
Sure.
I have a lot of built up stuff from next season where
right.
I'm why are you still here? And then it became this joke of she kept showing up and I was but no more Shangela. She's just not my favorite. She's a big sweetheart. She's a good entertainer. She's funny.
Clearly she wasn't ready, but her attitude was A+.
Oh yes.
And she was just so sweet and earnest and excited.
Absolutely.
And I really liked that.
I really liked her in this
And she's smart. She's not a dummy, you know?
No.
She's no one had to tell her they'd had it officially. It was the right, she wanted to be there for the right reason.
But this look is not great.
No, it's pretty weird.
Her wig is bad.
Oh my god, wait, no. Her wig is atrocious. She literally, her face looks like, she's one of those photo stands where there's just a wig and then she stuck her head through.
Oh, yeah,
and it was oh, you're gonna take a picture of me in this wig? Yeah. That's what it looked like to me.
Oh, we're at Coney Island. Stick our heads through. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. So that, it was funny because it set such a weird tone where you're if you didn't know the fabulous queens that came out of this season,
sure,
you would just be oh god, what happened to this show? They really went downhill. They ran out of drag queens real quick.
Right. Then I do remember Shangela's photo. Where she's just here's my crotch.
And also her side of her face. She's not looking, she's looking the opposite direction.
Oh yeah, but she was just there's a lot of present it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
I mean, they did say straddle the cannon, but not
You gotta be a lady, Andrew.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it classy. Next up is Raven.
Oh yes. I love Raven. Didn't love this look.
I mean, it was simple and chic in the way that I think Nicole Paige Brooks was going for, but failed at.
Sure.
She certainly looked more polished.
Yes.
Didn't love it.
But she didn't look that polished though.
I'm saying more
Yes. But still, like, she came in and her face was rough.
Yeah. I think the lighting happened to be atrocious.
Sure.
In this workroom.
Sure.
But she was feeling herself.
She was. Oh, and she had, like, some good poses.
She was just like,
yeah.
I'm going to sit on the desk and look down on all of you. It was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Okay. Raven, I thought, had the best... Well, she won.
She won the photo shoot, yeah.
But she definitely had the best photo. It was, like, this, like, Washington into the, like...
Crossing the Delaware.
Yeah.
Well, she told a story.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't just, I'm sexy. It was, I'm coming to get you, and I'm going to win the Civil War. You know, it was like, there was intent and power behind it.
Yeah. And then, finally, a real drag queen is how I felt when I was watching this.
We're just yes.
Like someone in drag.
Yeah.
Came out, and it was Jujubee. I mean, like, yes, it helps that Jujubee is, like, fabulously fishy.
Yeah.
But also it helps that she did her makeup.
Well, she did her makeup, she had the right hair.
Like, she tried.
Then Sahara Davenport comes in.
Yes.
In, like, a silver dress, but then silver tights and silver shoes.
Yeah.
But different silvers.
Yeah.
Didn't love it.
Didn't love it. The big thing for me was the tights.
The tights were more gray.
Yeah.
And it was, like, tinsely silver.
Yeah. Well, it was just a weird silhouette. Like, I was like, I don't...
Take off the tights.
Take off the
tights would have really, like, without them would have been like, okay.
Oh, a little short silver number.
Sahara Davenport's photo shoot does have the funniest, like,
eyelid
lash
in the wind.
flapping,
like... I mean, it's no Gia Gunn.
Well, that, like, can you imagine if Gia Gunn, with the wonky eyelash, then also had a fan on her?
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
So, this is a little weird and sad.
Yes.
But, as many of you, if not all of you know, in 2012...
I think so, yeah.
She passed away...
Suddenly.
Yeah, which is just really, it was really sad. It is really sad.
Yeah. You know, watching it, there's like a bittersweet, like, oh, you're so sweet.
That's so sad.
This is depressing.
Yeah. So, but I guess also nice that that's like memorialized in time.
Yeah, she has this legacy of being on season 2, which is fun.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
You
know, her memory now will live on forever for
she's
generations
one of the 100 queens.
Exactly.
Ru made internationally famous.
Right?
100 queens to international stardom.
I mean, I guess that's true because there are international people watching this show.
Sure, but there are certainly queens from seasons that I'm like, who now?
Yeah.
Who's that? Like, there's definitely like a couple of people who went home first and second in some seasons where I'm
I could not for $100 million tell you the name of I Have Had It Officially.
I want to say it's Cha-Cha something.
Couldn't tell you.
Maybe.
Literally zero idea. You could have named anything. You could have been like, you know, she's Spider McSpidey Pants. And I would have been like, yeah, that's not it.
Spider McSpidey.
I don't know.
Moving on. Morgan McMichaels comes in. Kind of giving me some, like, anime explosions or something. You know, like, it looked, like, very graphic.
Right.
And she looked hot.
I thought she looked great.
She had a short skirt on.
Yes, she did. Was that body yaddy yaddy?
Morgan McMichaels' wig just comes off.
Oh, yeah, just off. She goes, oh, my wig went for a vacation.
Ru says something like, the Yankees took everything, even your wig. And she's trying to tie the sash at the end, like, maybe I'll make, like, a turban. It's like, no.
Nope, you don't have time for that.
It didn't work.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Well, she didn't know that there was going to be wind, so it's like you can't even button down the hatches. Batten down the hatches. Bury the hatches.
So then Mystique comes out in, like, a white roses corset and pants. It's fine.
Fine. She just always seems angry.
Well, it's part of it is how she draws her eyebrows.
I think you were right.
Like, she really draws them in a very angry...
It's like a cartoon. It's like literally, like if you think of like a stereotypical angry cartoon.
Or like an Angry Bird.
Sure. It's like that like, it's going to go all the way down to like the base of my nose.
Her look seemed like, again, very like, oh, you're in clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, caveat, it's season 2.
Right.
Like, we just got off of All Stars where it was like, everyone has a designer gown every single week that's custom tailored to their exact shape and like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, we have to like redirect our brains.
Yes.
But it was very basic. So then, Jessica Wilde comes in, who I love.
You love.
I love Jessica Wilde. She has just positive attitude.
Yep.
She's a fabulous drag queen.
Yep.
And she's just like there to do a good job.
She is like the type of Puerto Rican queen that I love.
Exactly.
Where it's like, oh, you're fun and silly and not annoying.
Yep.
If I don't understand something, I am going to smile.
So Jessica Wilde comes in this sort of like semi-kimono inspired, blue and white.
Yep.
Big corset. Her face looks great. Like she looked more draggy than anyone so far. Everyone else looked to be in like basic outfits.
Sure, and this was like a drag.
This was like a look.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Head to toe, you're in like a look.
So next up.
Yes.
Sonique. I like Sonique.
I like her too.
She seems sweet and like.
She's like witty and funny.
Yeah.
Too. Like, she has good interviews.
A little dry, but I like that.
I like that.
So yeah. What was she wearing? I forget.
She had like a black corset and panties with like some ruffles.
So then next up.
Yes.
Is Tatiana.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Giving us some Xanadu realness. There's like headbands and like glass, shiny.
Yep.
It was cute.
It was cute.
I mean, and she was like 21 at the time.
21.
So like, it makes sense that she's dressing almost like a little girl. Like she's dressing like
she's dressing young.
Young and cute.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes sense.
Yeah. From Wet Seal.
From Wet Seal. I love it. Everything makes so much more sense now.
Right. Oh my gosh. Pandora Box.
Whom I love.
Love. You know, Pandora for me was like the original Jinx Monsoon.
Yes. I mean, I'm trying to think, like season 1, the only comedy queen was really Tammy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of who would classify themselves as
a comedy queen. No one else.
Maybe Pork Chop, but she didn't last.
Right. It's not just like a pageant queen. It's like, this was more than a pageant. It was comedy.
Yes.
And that, I think, really helped usher in like this whole other level of Drag Race. So
totally.
It wasn't just like, who's the prettiest, who's the most fabulous. It
Would
was
you
like,
say
who's
that
also
she's out of the box? Oh, I hate it.
I do too. Vomit.
She was like one of the first queens where I was like, oh, I want to be friends with you. Like I was like, you seem so nice and like fun and you like the same things I do.
Pandora is like a dash of Madonna, a sprinkle of Goldie Hawn, and a big chunk of Kathy Griffin.
But she comes in this like red, God, it looks like, like a dance outfit you would have worn as a kid, like at the big show. But her hair was cute. She had little like pom-poms.
So then last but not least,
Tyra Sanchez.
Yeah.
Who comes in looking like a very elegant woman.
Yes.
She's in this gold, like skin-tight suit, where that's more like a dress with a bolero.
Right.
She presents herself as a out-of-reach goddess, right? Just as this like,
sure. Right.
She has this air.
Yeah, of cuntiness.
I do think that I'm the prettiest one.
Like, there's just such a seriousness.
Serious. So serious.
And it's like, where's a little bit of fun or smile? Or like, are you enjoying this? Or why are you doing this?
Are you miserable?
Yeah. So, Ru announces before they go to their photo shoot, because it's the first episode, of course, Mike Ruiz is back. I just have like the sweetest little crush for Mike Ruiz.
He's very cute.
He's just like such like
he seems
charming.
He seems huggable.
Right?
Yeah.
But like with those big guns. Let's like snuggle by a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Shangela's bare arms.
No.
Lay me down by that fire with these bare arms.
Now I'm just picturing Mike Ruiz
With
like,
bare arms?
No, like lying
I mean, they're
naked,
big
you know,
enough.
like this by like a fireplace.
All like Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly. And then me just being like, with like these bare fur arms, just being like, hey, my
Hey.
just like stroking him with my weird sleeve of bear fur.
This went in a direction that I did not expect. The theme of the episode,
Yes.
Gone with the Window. Rue goes and tells them all about Gone with the Wind and Scarlett O'Hara.
My favorite was Jessica Wilde,
Because she's the best.
where she just goes, I was inspired by this movie.
It's inspired in a movie that I never saw, but in my imagination, that girl is amazing like Jessica.
Yeah, sure.
That's the way to go.
That is the way to go.
I don't know what this is, but I'll make it fabulous, just like me. Yep.
Yep. So the challenge is you have to take a set of curtains
Yes.
and turn it into a runway
Turn it
gown.
out into a fabulous look. And they have a not cute fabric fight.
There were no ladies on that set today. There were men running for curtains.
Well,
Luckily for Raven, she won, so she got to just
Raven
scroll
was
on
like,
over
I'll
and pick what
the only
she
one
wanted.
that's not beige.
Yeah, right?
They were all so the same.
They were all, it's like, come on, couldn't you have gotten some more exciting curtains? Give me some Sound of Music curtains, and some paisley, and
just
some
like something that's not
tartan,
beige.
and like,
They're
come on.
just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, they were bad.
They make different kinds of curtains, Rue. So they all get their curtains.
And then Mystique is like, oh, this fabric isn't plus size friendly, and they're like not having it.
For Mystique to sit there and think that her curtains are not plus size friendly is a crock of
Oh, and that my mannequin isn't the right size for me.
Right, then Rue comes by and she's like,
Oh, you don't have a
No.
dress for it.
This is the biggest one.
Why don't you pat it?
I don't got time for that.
I don't have time for that. And I'm like, oh, girl, you shouldn't be saying this in front of Rue. Like, girl, what? And while the girls were not particularly overly nice to her,
No.
she was like already, like her guard was up. Which,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure it is difficult to be in the drag world and be plus size.
I get that, but like,
But I want to see somebody say, fine, fuck it, I'm going to be fierce and fabulous and like eat it.
Yeah.
I want them to be Latrice and be like, whatever.
exactly.
Like,
I
I'm
can
gonna
make
be-
this work because I'm a drag queen and I
Yeah.
do this all the time.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments of the episode is Mystique has built this
Headpiece.
Carmen Miranda grapes, or sort of like the little girl in Jungle Book. You know, she's always carrying that big pot on her head.
I don't remember.
You don't remember the little girl in Jungle Book?
Nope.
What?
I didn't even remember there was a girl in Jungle
At the
Book.
beginning and then at the end, and she sings that song, and then she like lures Mowgli away. Oh man, Mystique has made this headdress, and she's like, Sahara, what do you think?
What you think, Sahara?
Oh yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, girl, you should totally wear that. Yep, looks great. So then we get to the runway, and Rue comes out, and she looks fucking great.
She looks fabulous. This ruby dress.
Ruby red Greek goddess.
Yeah.
It was like drapey.
Yep. And then, my favorite, Kathy Griffin.
Oh my god, Kathy Griffin is the guest. First out of the gate, Tyra Sanchez.
Yes.
With a very big afro, a very beautiful big afro.
Yeah, her hair was gorgeous.
She did a tight underskirt and then with a big cape. It was dramatic.
It was dramatic. I personally liked it. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I liked it a lot, but I liked it. I was like, oh.
It looked like a dress that was constructed and that fit her. Which is
Which
saying
is
a lot.
a lot.
Raven, I mean, she got to pick the only non-beige.
Yeah.
She looked good, but not great.
Yeah.
The silhouette of the dress, like, even though she had the most interesting fabric, she didn't do the most interesting silhouette.
One of the queens in Untouched said that she looked like Donatella Versace, which I did get.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I mean, in the face up.
Sure. So, I mean, it was fine. Safe.
Yeah, this whole episode, it was like, I don't feel like anyone created a moment.
Not really.
You know? Next up was Sonique.
Yes.
In a sort of bikini with a big old bow on her butt. It was very like Carmen Carrera.
Mm-hmm.
You know, body, yaddy, yaddy.
Yep. I liked it. I liked this one.
I thought it looked very polished.
Uh-huh.
And her face was great.
Yes.
Her wig was on point.
Yes.
She had this like warrior woman.
Yeah, she had like this
that
big
bow
pole.
staff that was just like the curtain rod.
Yeah.
Which was funny.
Which was fun.
I thought she looked really great.
I thought so too. I thought it was a good look. So then
Juju comes out in her feathered, like, Liza Minnelli wig.
God.
It was so everything.
So everything.
It was amazing. It was the biggest, like, yes.
Her wig and her face.
Her face
just,
looked flawless.
Just all of this was
looked
fabulous.
so good. And then she had she looked very elegant. She looked like a woman.
Yes,
not
like
not like a sexy lady, but like
right, no, like
an adult woman.
Like a Japanese diplomat's wife or something. Like, I don't know. You know, like...
Yes. She had an elegance about her.
It was at least unique and, like, original. You know, it was something different than
that
just...
wig.
That, oh my god. Slay. I mean, so that alone. And then Tati was next.
In, like, a baby doll, beigey, goldy, brown.
I don't remember it.
It was like a baby doll, like a big...
Sure.
Flouncy skirt. I mean, but short, you know, and then strapless.
I don't remember
She
it.
looked cute.
I really just...
She had the red wig. I feel like there wasn't a lot of accessories.
No.
You know?
I mean, I guess maybe a lot of these queens at this point didn't have the budget. You know, like, they didn't have the money to bring a lot of this stuff.
Well, even I was just thinking, like, that no one, like, made a purse or made a... You know, nobody had, like, a story they were telling.
That's true. No one really thought it through.
No one was like, I'm going to tell this tale about this bitchy, you know, 80s architect, lesbian, literary agent.
So the next up was Sahara.
Right. Who had, I mean, it was like, the bustier was actually rather beautiful. And then the bottom seemed like an afterthought.
Well, I think she ran out of time.
Sure.
I liked this outfit. I thought it was, like they said, a little bit too...
Like normal. It was like too... They said it wasn't draggy.
No, it was like ready to wear. I liked the blue. I mean, that was lucky. Or maybe she took it from something of the junk that they gave them from out of the closet.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was smart if she did.
Yeah, because it was like, oh, something else.
Yeah. Oh, thank God it's not beige.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
How's she gonna get home? Oh, thank God.
Next was Shangela.
Oh.
Now,
wait. You kept trying to justify this look, and it was not good.
Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
I think the concept was decent. She was halfway there. The top was a nightmare.
She wrapped a long piece of fabric around her waist. It was open in the back like a hospital gown. And she had a burlap sack that was cut into an odd shape.
A hospital what?
God damn it! Did I do it again? It was horrible, and don't try to convince me that it wasn't.
Okay, I mean, it wasn't great. I guess, to me, it wasn't as bad as Mystique's.
Can we just agree they were both horrible?
They were both awful.
Just awful.
Just awful.
Awful.
Yeah.
It seems like they really were setting her up to fail.
Yeah.
The producers and the casting was like, you've been doing this for 5 months? Well, you seem like fun and loud and like have a personality, so we'll throw you in with the wolves and like see what happens, but you'll probably get kicked off. Oh, you got kicked off. Next up is Jessica Wilde, who I thought looked fabulous.
I was gonna say, I think she might have had my favorite outfit.
I think so.
Because it was original, it was beautiful.
Yes.
Like she created these like
origami,
like flowers,
ruffle.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It was really nice, I thought. Like she
took a bathing suit and then appliqued it beautifully.
Yeah.
Right? And I liked it a lot in her wig. She just looked like this like shining goddess.
Yeah.
I loved this, and I genuinely thought she should have been in the top.
Yeah, I thought she did a great job with it. So, Morgan McMichaels, I personally didn't get. She basically had flaps of fabric in front and behind.
Right.
And then, like a...
grommets.
And I never met a grommet I didn't like.
Yeah, grommets are fabulous.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what that is, but I agree.
This is what I'll say. Hers looked very polished and well sewn. And her body was on point.
Yeah. For me, for whatever reason, like, because it was so open on the side, it just seemed kind of, like, unfinished. It was like, oh, here's flaps of fabric. You know, like, it wasn't like...
I mean, she was dressed like a stripper.
But, like, a weird stripper. I don't know. It was just like a stripper at Home Depot. It was like... It was confusing to me. You know, it was like she was wearing blinds on the front and back of her. I don't know.
I think it was more like Roman inspired.
Yes, it was. I know what it was, but I just like didn't get it.
Sure. It's like Trojan, you know, warrior woman.
Yeah.
Didn't care for it?
I just didn't get it. Oh boy.
Ooh, Mystique comes out.
With this stupid hat.
And then the dress was just like kind of a piece of fabric wrapped around her.
It was
it
really
had
awful.
a high-low hem.
If you could call it that.
It wasn't great.
It was a mess. And then she's like desperate. And so then she's like, well, I'm going to do the splits. But it was real awkward because she like puts down her hat
and she has to take off her hat. I kind of would have loved it if she had just done it with the hat and seen what happened.
Sure.
Just like, let's see how this goes. And I remember at the time being like, oh shit. But now it's kind of infamous. My mind went to, are they this shocked and surprised and excited about this just because she's a plus size girl and she can do the splits? This seems awkward.
A little bit.
That's where I went, because I was like, if Sahara Davenport did the splits on the runway, they'd be like, yes, but would it save her?
I don't, did it save?
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm giving you a get out of jail free card.
Next, Nicole Paige Brooks.
I don't know what to say about this look.
She looked like, this is going to be a deep cut.
Okay.
She looked like the woman in Dante's Cove.
You mean the old-timey?
Yes, the old-timey look.
Like, pseudo Victorian.
The 18, right? But it's actually like 1960s California. It's very, anyway.
Oh, boy.
If you guys haven't watched Dante's Cove, boy, do you have a drinking game.
Have we not talked about Dante's Cove yet? I
don't think we have.
Holy shit.
We need to do a review of Dante's Cove.
Do a recap?
Oh my god, we have to. It's just the best.
For some reason, the first thing that popped into my mind is just the sex scene with the fan. Remember that? We should definitely do a rewatch of Dante's Cove.
We have to.
Hotel Dante.
Welcome to Hotel Dante.
Welcome to the Hotel Dante.
So then last...
Pandora box. Looking like a very messy pirate wench. But her face and hair were on point.
Well, and Kathy Griffin and she just had this moment.
They really did. I don't know why Pandora was in the top.
I have no idea.
It wasn't great.
I have no idea.
I was like, oh, clearly she's in the what? Like, I love you, but what's happening?
Right? Huh?
Over Jessica? What? Over Sonique? Huh?
I have no idea. No idea.
It's really, yes. It even had like a colonial times, you know? Like,
yeah, a little bit. It was bonkers.
Like she's churning some butter.
Yeah.
Like it was real weird.
It was really weird. So, Morgan McMichaels wins.
Yes.
Good for her.
Sure.
It was unexpected for me, but cool, great.
Yeah, I thought that Tyra won.
Congratulations. You're safe.
No, but she didn't.
Because it was confusing. It was like a slightly blurred line about who was in top, who was in
right.
bottom.
Yeah, it was.
Giving like critiques to both. And
yeah, because they like kind of read Tyra's look.
Yes. They were like, it was kind of boring. I don't know. Maybe you should have more personality. You're in the top. And it was like, what?
What?
So Morgan wins.
Yep. And then Sahara Davenport.
Yep. And Shangela are in the bottom.
Yep.
And they're best friends. Yeah. Oh, right. We didn't talk about when they first come into the workroom and they're just like,
oh my gosh.
It was too much.
It was definitely too much. And so then they lip sync against each other in one of the most fabulous, insane lip syncs.
Definitely one of the first, and I'm stripping and this is
sure.
coming off in that. I mean,
sure.
We had BB doing that a bit in season 1.
Right.
But there was roadkill wigs, there was roadkill outfits, there was roadkill shoes.
Oh my god.
And then in one of my favorite comments, Sonique is like,
It looked like Mortal Kombat.
But then my absolute favorite moment, Shangela picks up and just places
she's like,
at her side and is like, oh, here, you dropped this.
It was a really good lip sync.
Gagging. Like, shade during a lip sync? Yes, God.
Shangela goes home.
Yeah.
Sahar really turned it out.
She did. Now.
Oh boy, we get to talk.
We have some untucked business
to untuck. Oh boy, I'm so excited.
First of all, I have to say it was such a pleasure to see the ticky-tack basic sets of the gold and silver rooms, the Interior Illusions Lounge.
This is before they got their makeovers.
But when they had a bartender.
Oh my God, right? He was just like, hey.
I also love that he was listening to their conversation and just dying.
But like, I was fairly shocked he was not shirtless.
Right?
Like,
Why not?
A bow tie.
Missed opportunity.
Just a bow tie, shirtless.
Yes.
We didn't talk about your face when... when you saw RuPaul with her creepy mustache.
Her like creepy, thin, gross mustache. Oh, it was terrifying. Also, her head for some reason seemed like ultra domed or like pointy.
Like she's wearing like a black turtleneck.
Turtleneck.
She looks like she should be, you know, like reading a beat poem in the 50s.
I also loved like the introduction, like to Untucked when it was like the whole
introduction is like almost the best part of Untucked.
Right?
I watch it every time. Like you don't fast
forward.
Oh no,
you don't fast forward it because it's so. I mean that's partly why we have like I've had it officially. Bitch, I'm from Chicago. Like
right?
it's
they
take their own life. You know, it's like it's amazing.
America's Next drag superstar shouldn't be a
lazy bitch.
Why are you talking?
Why are you talking?
I will whoop your ass, bitch. I am from Chicago.
It's just great.
Amazing. So this week on Untucked.
And they got into it.
They really got into it right away.
A lot of topics.
Yeah.
They got into Raven being irritated with Nicole Paige Brooks.
And there's gonna be that person that becomes like wet sand in your underwear and you're over it.
But I mean, her laugh was very annoying.
Sure. They got into Nicole Paige Brooks having a big old crush on Raven.
Yes, and Raven being like, nah.
Shut it down.
She has acrylic toenails with white French tips.
I mean, Raven is a bitch.
Yeah.
But I love her. So it's rough.
It is rough.
The evil part of me is like, yeah, go be a bitch. They're talking about Tatiana and how she started doing drag when she was 14, or going to school.
Right, going to school and like this whole
we get
saga.
this real sense of like the sort of bitchy rebel in her.
Yeah.
Where she was at homecoming and her teacher was like, you can't be here in this, like you have to go home and change or I'll like kick you out. And she's like, why?
I'm doing the same dress code all the other girls are. Well, you don't like my hair? Well, then go take every track out of every girl in this room.
That is me, and I loved it.
Right? This is unacceptable.
Exactly. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna get litigious on you right now.
Indignant.
Exactly. But then the conversation takes a turn.
Right. So
because Nicole Paige Brooks then is like,
I just find it odd that you're dressing up as a girl in high school, but you don't think you're a tranny.
I'm not a tranny because I don't want a vagina.
I was like, whoa. And maybe that's because it's 2016.
Right.
But still, like, there was always, for me, a sense of that is not how we use that word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is not appropriate. And so I automatically was like, oh, no, girl.
I think it's because it's 2016.
I don't know, though. I don't know.
Because for me, I was more confused about why it was coming up. Like,
I mean, I guess that's
point?
true. Like, if you look at, like, Project Runway, probably about the same time.
Right.
It was like fierce, hot, tranny mess.
Tranny mess. Like, it was like almost a term of endearment at that point.
But wasn't that also about transvestites?
Yes. I think.
So then what is she asking her? But she clearly was saying, so you were transgender.
I want her tested for hormones, bitch.
It was a confusing topic, only complicated further by the fact that Sonique has now transitioned.
And I thought, well, and then that, knowing that now made it even more upsetting for me. Like, I mean, obviously at this point she hadn't started transitioning.
Right.
So, like, to then have that kind of attacking and, like, somewhat derogatory way of speaking about it.
Well, it was like you're less than because
It was
a
very pointed.
tone
Your
to
tone was very pointed. Then to me that makes it more uncomfortable and more unwelcoming to someone who is still exploring or figuring that out about themselves.
Right.
And that's what I didn't like about it, you know? So the girls are all talking about like the top and bottom, the critiques that they got.
Right.
And then Juju's like, well, what did they say about you to Mystique?
No, Nicole Paige Brooks is.
Oh, Nicole Paige Brooks asked Mystique. And she goes,
I'm not telling.
I mean, I guess, you know, like, to be fair, it was the first challenge, and she was very upset with herself, and like...
Well, I think to Morgan's point, she had been complaining and making excuses and seemingly in a very negative space.
Sure.
From the get.
Yeah.
Like, you know, second one till now.
Yeah.
So I think that was where Morgan was coming from.
Sure.
Bad manners. Just rude, blatantly mean.
So we get the most infamous.
You think?
Certainly the first.
Sure.
The
first
most infamous.
It's literally the first episode of Untucked.
I mean, but it's like so fucking famous.
I will whoop your ass. Bitch, I am from Chicago.
But it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Insane. Fabulous. Dramatic.
And I love that they're in like the hallway. That's the best part.
Right? Yes. Like, let's take this out to the hallway. Love. So there you have it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. The first episode of season 2.
It was like fun to see old friends, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're here, whatever.
Yeah.
I was underwhelmed in general by the fashion of the episode.
Yeah.
I know that it gets better, so I'm excited about it.
But the lip sync and the Untucked really
lip sync,
stand
the
out.
drama, you know, a lot of the personalities. This was a great season. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I can't wait.
So make sure to subscribe, tune in every week for Drag Race.
Send stuff to our P.O. box.
Yeah. And
getting fun stuff.
Anything, whatever you want, but like drag stuff or VHS tapes.
Ooh, yeah.
Or, I don't know, postcards, t-shirts.
Fun stuff.
Cigars, cigarettes.
Coffee, tea, me, you know, whatever.
So here's to more drag queens.
Yay!
Thank God. Yay!
Always.